Good morning, everyone. As I record this, it's about 7 a.m. on Monday, the 23rd of March, and we are all about to enter this strange world of home learning or remote learning, however you want to call it. And we're all a little bit nervous. We don't know how it's going to go. So I wanted to send you students a quick guide as to how to use Microsoft Teams. Because if your teachers are doing giving you tasks, then they'll probably just set it to you on Firefly or set it to you by email. But if they are going to be doing live lessons, then they're probably going to be using Teams. And I wanted to make you girls a quick video to show you how to use Teams to help those lessons go more smoothly and to help you know what you're doing before those lessons actually begin. Now, a lot of you were lucky enough to have lessons with Mr. Hayden Slater or Miss Cork or myself last week, and you saw Teams, and lots of you know how to use it already. But even if you have, it might be good watching this video because it will go through a few bits that you might not know. We're going to be covering 6 quick things in this video: how to get onto Teams, how to know when you have a live lesson, how to join a live call, the behavior, what you should do with your webcams, your microphones, your learning environment during a live lesson. Number 5, what to do if you actually miss a live lesson or your internet cuts out halfway through. And number 6, some final thoughts about this being new for all of us and what that means in terms of our learning. So, how do you get onto Teams? Well, a lot of you know this already because you used it last week. But in short, the way you're going to deal with it is you're going to go through your emails. Now, when you load up your email account, and I know this isn't my email, this is Teams, but you'll have a waffle in the top left-hand corner, which is 9 little dots that look a bit like a nice breakfast waffle. Click that, and you should see all of the programs that you have available. There'll be Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneDrive, etc. And you should be able to see Teams. If you can't see Teams, there might be a button that says More Apps. Click that, and you should find Teams, and then you press it, and just like here, it will then load up Teams for you. You already have a Teams account because it's the same account that you use with your emails or Word. So you're going to just click on that, and if it asks you to sign in, then you're going to log in with your normal school email address, the full address, and your password. Now, you can download the app to your PC or to your tablet. If you want to do that, there's a button right behind my head here, right at the bottom left-hand side that says Download Desktop App, and I've done that here. This is my desktop version of the app, and if you're going to have a lot of live lessons, it might be worth you downloading it. But do check with your parents first because you might need a password or you might need kind of help installing it. But if you are going to have live lessons, downloading the application might make it a bit more powerful, a bit more smooth, and might help you have a better experience during those lessons. So that's how you get on. Now, how do you know when you have a live lesson? Well, if I schedule a meeting for you or a live lesson for you, and I'll show you what my calendar looks like here, it should send you an email. It should send you an email telling you that I've scheduled that. And if I did it last night, for example, then you probably got an email last night saying, hey, there is going to be a live lesson coming up for you today. And your teachers hopefully will be sending you an email first thing in the morning of a live lesson around before 8:30 saying, there's going to be a live lesson today, this is the time, and looking forward to seeing you there. Lastly, if you're not sure if you had an email or your teacher wasn't able to contact you that morning, then go to your calendar. So when you're in Teams, whether it's the web version or the app version, find the button that says Calendar and click on it. And if your teacher's scheduled you a live lesson, you should see it here. So I've got my amazing pretend lesson at 9 a.m. I've got an A-level lesson at 11, and I'm seeing my year 8 later today and after that. And so if you've got something in those boxes, then you know that you've got a live lesson coming up. And obviously I haven't yet filled out the rest of my week, but that's one of my jobs for today. So just because something isn't scheduled today doesn't mean that it won't necessarily be happening on Wednesday, because your teachers are getting used to this as well. So there's 3 ways to find out if you have a live lesson. The meeting when it was scheduled. And there's one more way I'll just show you actually. If you go into a particular team, if you click this button here that says Teams, it should give you the list of all your teams. So I'm going to go into Mr. Cox's pretend class. And if someone's scheduled a meeting, you might see it right there in a kind of purple strip, my amazing pretend lesson. And you can also click on that to get in the meeting as well. But if lots of people have spoken, so for example, this is actually a chat room, a bit like a kind of a WhatsApp group chat. So if I say, good morning, my amazing pretend class, it will put a bit of information there and it will keep scrolling up. So it's possible that meeting might just disappear off the top of the screen. So it might be better to use some of the other methods to find out how to do it. Now, how do you join a live call? Well, again, I've got 3 methods for you. Firstly, if you can find that button in the chat, you can press that purple strip in the chat. You can click on it and it will give you some of the details about the meeting, and then you can press join. Secondly, if you go into the calendar and you find the meeting itself, you can click on that, and then you can press join. And lastly, if you had an email about the meeting, there's a join link actually in that email itself. However, I would recommend using one of these first two methods. Probably the calendar method is the safest method, because you're not then going between emails and Teams, and the process is just likely to be a bit smoother for you. Now, when you click join, it's going to load up this window for you here. Now, you're not actually in the meeting yet. You're one step away, but it gives you a few options before you go into the meeting that we need to talk about now. So I'd like to talk to you here about behavior, webcams, microphones, and your working environment. Now, this is a lesson. This is not a playground. This is not a chat with your friends. This is a lesson. And therefore, the expectations that we have of you are different to how it might be if you're just on a WhatsApp call with your friends or video chatting with a family member. Therefore, before you join this call, you get some options. This is where you turn your webcam on and off, turn it off. This is where you turn your microphone on and off, turn it off. Now, if your computer has more than one microphone and webcam, you can actually adjust those settings here if you need to. But before you join a call, you should have turned both of those things off. And then when you go in, you press join now. And now you are in the call and you are ready to talk to your classmates and to talk to your teacher. Now, in regards to webcams, your webcam should always be off at all times during a lesson. It's nothing. It's about keeping you safe online. It's about protecting you and making sure that nothing is seen that it's not supposed to be seen. Microphones can be turned on and off, but you do need to get your teacher's permission. Think of it like putting your hand up in class. You know, can I turn my microphone on? And the teacher will either tell you yes or no. Now, if I move my mouse around for a little bit, you can see that there's a few buttons here at the bottom. There's one button that says show participants. So if you want to know who else is in the call with you, you can click there, but you'll probably see them at the bottom here as little symbols. But the button you probably want to see all the time is this show conversation button. Have that up at all times down the side, and you can type in that. So I just said, well, can I turn my microphone on? So you might want to ask, Mr. Cox, can I ask a question on the mic? And then Mr. Cox will either say yes or say no, or to be honest, if he's teaching something and in mid-flow, then he might not actually answer your question straight away, because sometimes when you put your hand up, the teacher doesn't come to you straight away. So you need to, but that's a place where you can have conversations, you can ask questions, you can answer questions, and that's where you'll be given permission. And the teacher should be looking at the chat while they are presenting to you. So we've talked about webcams, we've talked about microphones. Now let's talk about behavior and environment. This is a classroom, therefore this chat should not be filled up with lots of hellos and yes. You should not be using kind of chat speak like you, just using the you by itself, or just having kind of putting loads of kind of spam of emojis and GIFs and things like that. And your teacher can turn those things off if they are misused. Treat it like a classroom, talk to your teachers in a professional way, and they will do the same to you. Learning environment. It would be really good if you were able to get yourself some headphones, because if you've got any kind of background noise at home, then we don't want to hear that through your microphone, and also you don't want to be distracted because you might not be able to hear what your teachers are saying to you, and you might not be able, if there's any kind of video resources, you might not be able to hear them. So try and find yourself as much as you can, and I know it might be difficult, try and find yourself a quiet environment, maybe where you can close the door on the rest of your family. Get yourself some headphones, get yourself in the learning zone, turn the TV off, do not have your mobile phone anywhere near you, and don't be switching between lots and lots of windows. When you are in lesson, you are in lesson. And if you were in my class, I would be making sure that you weren't looking at Google or reading the news or using other apps and websites as well. And we expect the same of you during live lessons today and for the rest of the time that we are off. You should have your work space set up in a learning way. You can go and do all those other things after class, at break time and lunchtime. Treat it like a normal lesson. So you should be ready to work. You should have any kind of textbooks or resources that your teachers might need for that particular subject. Headphones on, good keyboard, good mouse. You should have checked that your device is charged or plugged in, all those kind of things. Make sure you are ready to learn before the lesson begins, and then we can have a good learning experience together. Now, what do you do if you miss a live lesson? Sometimes the internet might go out. Sometimes your connection might not be great. Sometimes there just might be lots of stuff going on at home and it just isn't appropriate for you to be in a lesson right now. And maybe you might get ill. Well, if you miss a live lesson, there's lots of things you can do to try and catch up. Firstly, you can come back to that group chat. Oh, by the way, if you want to leave a call, you just press the hang up button there. But you can always rejoin a call. So I could go straight back in if I wanted. But can you see, I asked there, Mr. Cox, can I ask a question on the mic? Now, all of the chat and all of the recordings of the meetings will appear there. Your teachers will be recording their lessons. So if you miss a lesson, go and find this bit here and you can watch the lesson back and you can see what the activities were and hopefully you'll be able to complete them. You can also ask your classmates. So remember, this is a group chat effectively. So you could just say, hey guys, I wasn't able to attend the lesson today. Can anyone tell me the tasks I need to do? And lastly, you can email your teacher or maybe message your teacher through Teams. But perhaps try and solve the problem for yourself first. Go back and watch that video that you weren't able to attend. Because remember, your teacher has a lot of things to do at the moment as well, planning lessons and trying to work out how to do this home learning. So if you're just able to go back and watch that lesson, you will see everything that you missed and you'll be able to find out what it is that you need to do. Which brings me finally into number 6. This is new for us too. Some of your lessons, live lessons, are going to be great. They're going to be smooth. They're going to be amazing, and others are going to go a bit wrong because technology is one of those things that as we're learning it, things might not be quite as smooth. And it would appear that the whole country today is going to be logging on and doing lessons remotely. So who knows what websites might crash, what resources will be working and what won't be working. So just bear with us. Do what you can and we will do what we can. But if it is all working and you have great ideas for these lessons, then let us know. Teams is incredibly powerful. If you click here, you can see all of the really powerful apps that are usable in Teams and much more. There's things like Nearpod, there's things like Quizlet, there's PowerPoints, all those kind of things. So if you know of cool ways that we can teach you online, or maybe some of your friends in other schools have done some kind of fun things online and some fun ways of learning, then let your teachers know and put it into the kind of the group chat, and we'll share out any good ideas between us as well. So get involved in your own learning and tell us how you would like it to be done and what works and what doesn't work, because we're all in this together. We're all St. Mary's, whether we're staff, whether we're students, whether we're parents, we're in this together. So let's work out how we're going to do this learning over the next few weeks. Hope that was useful. If you have any questions, then let me know by sending me an email or even messaging me through Teams. And of course, if you're in one of my classes, you can send me a message directly through there. But ask your teachers as well, because they also will be trying to learn all about this. Good luck. Hope remote learning goes well, and I'll see you in the live lessons.